personally I consider worrying to be a skill. So the worst worry would be the person who doesn't do it. The worst worry we had on the show was Rob Beckett, who, as it turns out, doesn't worry about anything, which is unacceptable. And the best worrier I know is probably my mum, who taught me everything I know about worrying about things, and now has me as a son to worry about. So she's Premier League. The worry that has stayed with me from the series is definitely Lucy's, my wife, who came on and told me that she was worried she'd made a terrible mistake in marrying me. And that's something that we are seeing a qualified professional about on a weekly basis. I would say walking under ladders is a low worry, because that's a good thing to worry about. There's a reason that we worry about walking under ladders, and that's because there's somebody up there with a paint can. So I think that's a normal thing to worry about. Missing a flight, I think, is obviously a big deal, but it's probably your fault. So that really is only Amber, because you should have just set off earlier. Eating a Kit Kat without breaking it into separate fingers is such a huge problem, because it just suggests to me that you don't understand food or maths. You really need to have a long, hard look at your life, I think. So that is a red worry. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I sort of never understood. I was quite enjoyed it, but I enjoyed the bit where stuff goes wrong for him, because I just thought, to me that's a film about someone with a bad work attitude getting what they deserve, and I was delighted when his day fell apart. I didn't understand why I was supposed to root for him, to be honest, and when he gets his friends involved as well, I mean, their grades are going to suffer. He needs a good talking to. Jumanji, I guess my only worry about Jumanji is why it was remade. It was fine the first time, there's no need to change it. And The Matrix, I guess, is a red worry. It's something we discuss on the show, is simulation theory, the idea that this is all just happening for someone else's amusement, and that, you know, we're just a brain in a jar. And as someone who's lived a particularly tedious existence, I have to worry that if my existence is purely a simulation for their enjoyment, I'm getting turned off soon, because they are not getting value for money out of that jar. And I think, amazingly, given that he's one of the most powerful people on the planet, he is one of the few people that just doesn't worry about anything. Because I think the minute any shred of self-awareness or self-doubt crept into his existence, he would just crumble. I mean, you can't look like that for a start without worrying that you don't look ridiculous. I mean, he clearly looks in the mirror every morning, gives himself a thumbs up and gets on with his life, which is a real problem for the world. I guess it's just how we improve on perfection for Series 2 of Ultimate Worrier, and how we deal with changing the name of the channel from Dave to Jon, which is going to take some work, but there will be demand for it when the series comes out. I suppose would be that the tumultuous political times we live in would come to an end, and everything would sort of plateau out and things would be okay, and there wouldn't be any satire. And he would have to go back to dressing up as Alan Partridge for a living and hosting speed dating nights in Nottingham. So if you didn't know he did that, then do ask him about it in the street. I guess my biggest worry, if I were Josh Widdicombe, would be that now he has a child, how he's going to explain to that child why he has Greg Davies's name tattooed on his foot. Because I'm sure it was funny at the time, and it was certainly funny on television, but good luck dealing with the withering look of disappointment in your child's eye when you have to explain the lengths you went to win a TV show. And if I were Russell Howard, I think my biggest worry would be just how to properly thank me for the many things I taught him in the year we lived together. You know, the life lessons about storage of teaspoons and personal hygiene, and just a lot, really. I think I really sculpted that man, and I don't know, he's yet to send me anything I think of significant financial or emotional value to thank me for the work, but I assume he just can't work out what that thing would be. I guess if someone were considering having a baby, they would need to be worried about the headspace that is taken up by children's songs. I'm currently dealing with a Wiggles addiction. I go to bed singing Who's in the Wiggle House as we all know. Anthony's in the Wiggle House eating fruit salad all day. And that was funny the first time I heard it, and now I'm ready to move on from Anthony eating fruit salad. I know Emma's putting all her bows away and Simon's playing Simon Says and Lockie's just asleep. Lockie Wiggle seems to have some sort of depression issue. He seems to be asleep most of the time in the house. It's never really dealt with. But yeah, if you're considering having a baby, I would say your life in terms of watching TV you want is over. If you're considering buying a house, I would say you probably have less to worry about than most people, because this country is broken, and if you are in a position to buy a house, then congratulations to you, and I hope everything goes well, and I hope you live happily in that house forever, and I hope you take on a number of tenants, because there aren't enough houses. If someone were considering being a comedian, I guess they would need to worry about me, because I'll follow you. I'll just try and put you off, really. There's enough comedians. It's hard enough getting work. Just back off, do something else. Go into politics. The world's broken. Try and fix something. Don't be a clown for a living. Just let me do it. I'm doing fine. Just leave me alone. If someone were considering holidaying in Russia, I guess they'd need to worry about the life choices they've made. I assume the flights to North Korea were unavailable. I mean, just go to a nice Spanish island, have some sangria and some tapas and enjoy yourself. Why would you go to Russia? I guess for the World Cup, but you know, if you're an England fan in the World Cup, I guess the least you have to worry about is 3 or 4 days out there, because we're crap, so we'll be coming home soon. I suppose they'd have to worry about why they lost their old job or were let go. I don't think I've ever left a job of my own accord. Looking back, I think I've been sent away from most of my jobs, starting with the fish and chip restaurant on Morecambe Promenade. Amongst the least 2 successful days of my working career, and I was delighted to leave, so thanks for firing me, because I was leaving anyway. Dick.